Hey everybody, it's Christine. Happy November. I am up today with a new layout for the scrap room using the DoubleShot kit, and it's a Doodlebug page kit full of fall patterns and colors. And so I wanted to hit it early in the month before we all kind of start transitioning towards Christmas projects. And so I'm continuing my series called Quilted Scrapbooking. And basically, I'm just working with designs that end up looking like quilts, kind of. And so for today's, I'm going to be using 2-inch squares, just like I did in the last video. And I am using nearly all the patterned paper in this page kit. It's a great way to be able to use a bunch of patterns that are maybe a little busier than you would like for using in a big way on a layout. And so this allows you to include all of them, but take them down in scale and keep things from getting too busy. And so I'm cutting out just 2-inch squares, and then I'm going to actually have those on the diagonal and turn them into triangles. And much like I did the other day with the building a heart from square triangles, I am going to today build a pumpkin. And so same idea, putting those triangles together to form a rectangle in the middle, and then the edges, you use those triangles to form edges. Now this pumpkin can work either way. You can go vertical or horizontal with it. And that was part of why I chose this specific design, because I knew I didn't really know which direction I wanted to go. And so I end up going horizontal, but like I said, it can work absolutely either way. So you can see that the middle rectangle part of the pumpkin is 3 squares tall by 5 squares wide. And then I have the outside, and really it's even more simple than making the heart, because it is just really a triangle on each corner, and then you do squares in the middle 3. So you'll see it all coming together now. Again, as I did the other day, I'm trying to rotate colors, patterns, monochromatic, ones with white, ones without white. And the biggest thing is just trying to make sure I don't put the exact same pattern right next to the exact same pattern again. And I do definitely have some advice on one thing right here, and that is, you see how I'm adding the adhesive straight to my cardstock? I definitely do not recommend that. You want to use your adhesive onto the triangles, because I had to go back and secure the corners on the triangles, nearly all of them. They weren't sticking down real well. And what I would advise is use a dotted adhesive so that it catches those corners really well without you having to do any extra work. Now you do also note that I am doing this on some peach cardstock. It coordinates well with this, just in case anything is popping out, or any little mismeasurements, etc. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut that out and then put it on my layout. I do not want to build straight onto my layout, because there's just too much room for error there. Whether it's deciding you want to place it somewhere different later or anything like that, it just makes it easier if you can cut it out. Now, right now I'm deciding what further I want to do with the background, and I'm considering some ink, but in the end I decide I'm going to actually do some stitching. And whatever about this kit this month, both my DoubleShot pages this month I did hand stitching on, which I haven't done a lot of hand stitching lately. I definitely have in the past, but today was one of the days that I decided I wanted to. I'm going to add on 4 photos in the center of this pumpkin, and I printed those off on a 4x6 picture. So they're smaller, so they're 2x3 each. What I did is I just used pick stitch and made a collage and then printed them onto one sheet. And that way I could get all 4 photos on there and tell the story, but not cover up the fun I was having with the quilting technique. So I'm going to go all the way around the outside of my pumpkin, right up against it. I'm not going to leave any margin. And I'm just poking holes. I'm not worried about if they're perfectly even, just eyeballing it and going all the way around, and then I'm going to stitch all the way around that with white. I am not going to show you that part on camera because you would be sitting here for quite a while while I do that. One tip I do have is that when you're doing stitching like this, step away from your desk, go turn on something on TV and kick back. It doesn't require a great deal of concentration, and I also do it in the car a lot if we're traveling and stuff. So just, you can step away and work on this. You don't have to be locked into your desk while you're working. Now, because I've got so much busyness going on already, I'm going to keep my embellishing pretty simple, but I do still want to tell the story, and I do need to add stuff still. So the page kit came with some ephemera, and I'm going to use the word gather up there at the top. You can also see that I tucked some of that craft cardstock that came in the page kit underneath my set of pictures just to make them pop off the page a little bit more. I'm also going to tuck it down underneath as well. I created a visual triangle combining my title up there with the cloud and leaves, and then on both sides of my subtitle where I wrote all the leaves. And you can see I am varying both putting them on there flat and popping them up, and just using some fun icons that were in the ephemera that worked with the theme. There was some really cute coffee themed ones that I'm looking forward to playing with still, but they didn't quite fit with playing with leaves. So I opted for more of the animals, trees, hearts, that kind of thing. And like I said, varying the way I'm applying them, both flat and with dimensions, so that I get a really good look going on. Now I'm also going to build up at the top a little bit there, just to have a little bit more in the white space so it doesn't look quite so bare up top. With all the bright colors and patterns that Doodlebug has to offer, I always feel like you can't leave too much white space because it just looks barren. And so I always try to leave some white space so that I can rest a little bit, but also do a good job of covering as much of it as it makes sense to, as much of it really as pleases my eye. And that's really just a judgment call on the creator's part. So you can see I just added a few little pieces of ephemera up there. It says Hello Autumn, and then I tucked a little mason jar in underneath. And then my final step is going to be to add in some enamel dots. Those also came with the page kit, and they're kind of a mocha brown color, really pretty color. I'm going to use those as an embellishment, and then I'm also going to add in some golden orange Nouveau drops for a second pop of color and dimension in there. And I say golden orange because it's somewhere between an orange and a yellow. It's not really true to either one. And that's it. So there is another fresh idea for you, perfect for your fall layouts to use for quilted scrapbooking. I'd love to see if you do this. Please tag me on Instagram or Facebook. You can find me both on both platforms under Scrapping with Christine, because I would really love to see if you do this or any of the quilted techniques that I do this month. You can find the first video in the playlist. I'm going to create a playlist right now when I post this video, and I will link you to it right here at the end. And be sure to head on over to the ScrapRoom. Check out the new kits for this month. They just premiered today, so they won't be sold out quite yet. So definitely check them out. And again, I'll link you to those down below. Please hit subscribe if you aren't already a subscriber here, and we will see you again next time.